Right, I've just zoomed in a bit closer so that you guys can see a bit clearer what I'm doing. I've also changed the camera setting so it's a bit darker so you can see what I'm doing, because it won't standing out as good as it does to me here. So I just want to put a couple just underneath that as well, a few little floaters, just a few in, maybe a little floater just coming off the end of that as well, down into there. A few more subtle ones up in there. Great stuff. I just love painting like this. It's a really basic cloud for you there, and a really easy way to do it. If it's not bright enough when you put it on first time, do what I just did there and get a little bit more paint and go over the top of it, and it will really accentuate the cloud. It will really work then. Blend that a little bit. Just in there. That's good. And again, I'll probably still do the same thing. I'll just come over with my big brush and gently, softly blend that. Right, so I'm just going to get some straight titanium white on a 1-inch brush. And I'm just going to use that just in the bright area in here where the sun's going to be. And then I'll blend that white into this yellow. Lovely. Make it look really bright in that spot. That's cool. Right, now I've got some background trees just in here which I'm going to put in first, and I need to mix the same lavender that I've done up there. Basically it needs to be similar anyway, so I'm just going to get my palette knife. I'll use that blue that I've got there, whatever it is, and then I need alizarin crimson. And I need some titanium white, so I'll get the stuff with the pink in it. Leave the pile there. Now I know straight away it's going to be too dark, is that? So I'm just going to mix a bit more crimson into it. And then a bit more white. Let's try that. Right, somewhere near what I wanted. I might still need more titanium white, so I'm just going to put a bit there and let that mix with that, because I don't want it really that dark as I had that pile. It's quite a subtle effect what I'm doing. I want it to be moody in the mist. So I've got a couple of different grades basically of that colour now. I've got the lighter one there and the darker one up there. Now I'm going to just use a filbert again. I use the filbert quite a lot with this painting. Could use a fan brush. In fact, why not? I'll do it with a fan brush. I don't mind that. So I'm going to use the lighter colour first of all. And I'm going to load both sides of the brush. With that lighter tone. Now where I want the trees to be, just up here. So I'm going to actually allow it to mix a little bit with the liquid white first, because I know that we've got a little like hill bit just in there, around there. I want it to be soft though. And then we've got a tree in this corner which is quite soft and sat back in the mist, just coming off of there. Like that. And then behind there I just want to paint, I want to tap some of this colour so it looks misty. I'm just putting a bit of that colour in first. And then just up in there, a bit more colour. And then a big tree just here. Quite a bit bigger than this actually, so I'd say it's coming up somewhere there. Just pull it to the side slightly. And just stick some indications of a soft, subtle tree. Soft though, in the background. Just in there. I want it to look quite far away, that's why I'm blending into it a lot. And then we've got some little indications of branches and stuff coming off there. Getting a little hair sometimes which get in your way, you can just pull them off usually. There we go. So that's another tree just on top. I want to actually make it bigger, I think, than I've got it. You can actually go into that area there as well and just do the same movements with that colour. Just make it look soft. Just in there. Now that's quite a way back now. Same underneath this one. I might actually bring that up a bit higher, more like there. And then this area that I've got in there, I just make it higher. I did like the shape of that as well, but I wanted it bigger. So up in there, I'm a bit dark at first, that one. So I turn the brush around. There. It's just a soft little tree. So I'll keep using that darker side and then coming back into the other side of my brush and blending it with that. Same in there. And this is going to be way off in the background. It's this. So I'll mix it with a liquid white underneath so it's not too distinct. And then got another tree. This one actually has a little bit of an orange or a crimsony tinge to it, slightly. So I'm just going to put that in around there somewhere, behind the castle, slightly, and then it sort of like comes down somewhere like so. The darker stuff in there. Just let that blend softly back there. See, I just put a few extras, a few little hidden extras in there as well. Some bushes maybe, stuff that's going to be behind a tree that we've got in front anyway. We have a tree in front of this. Gorgeous colours though these. I love ultramarine blue. Certain times I love it, but only for certain things, because it's a very, very overpowering painting. Usually pastel paintings. Like this has got pastels in it for sure. I'll leave a bit of that light just in there, and then you can put some darker stuff in there which will blend out, and then that'll stand out, a little light area just in there. As you come down it gets darker and darker. See what I do at base there? Just scrub it in, and then you can just blend it out softly. Just go into it. I'm using just different angles alternately there. Just different angle. To that way and then to that side. Just a really good way of blending with a little fan brush. Some lovely trees now and these lovely little soft rolling hill. Now I can actually just get the smallest amount of black to that. Just the smallest amount of black. Because just at the base I want it to be a bit darker, just in here. So you can tap some of that dark in first of all. Right down to where you put them rocks and stuff, and if you wipe this off, you see that? You can still see where the rocks are. I can just see it still. And then I'm just going to use a 1-inch brush, come back and just tap into that, make it look misty in the background. There. Just let that mist right out now. Very soft in the background. You can even go up into them sometimes and just tap it a little bit. Now I'm actually seeing more crimson in this now. I'm just going to touch a bit of crimson just on the right hand side of the brush. Don't need quite so much. See that? So I'm just going to, on this right hand corner, put a little bit of crimson into the colour of this tree. Just a bit of that colour hue, and then it goes into nothing at this side. We'll have none of that colour in. A little bit there at the base. Nice and soft, and then I'm going to go back again with the 1-inch, and I'm just going to gently tap that out. In fact, I'm not. I'm just going to go back, leave a little bit of light in there, tap into that, make it look soft. Just a bit of that crimson in there. Now I'm going to actually use the same colour, you know, that I just used for that. I only want the smallest amounts of colour here. See that when I'm putting that bit of crimson? Now I'm going to go into where this is, and I'm going to indicate that there's some little trees in behind these windows, which is same colour, same crimson-y colour. And I've still got a bit of the blue, darker blue colour which I used for this in that. also use a fan brush to just tap into that. It can be a bit more distinct, just make them stand out a bit better. Something like that. Good idea to step back at this stage, just see how it's going. That's cool now. I'm just going to use the smallest amount of that colour again. And I'm just going to put a little tree that we've got just up in there. Just a small one. Little bush. Small tree. Whatever you want it to be. There. Nice and dark underneath. Now, over in this area, I'm just going to use the same with a crimson. I'm going to actually add a slight bit of yellow, so I'm going to change fan brushes now. I'm going to use alizarin crimson with cadmium yellow. So we've got a bit of alizarin crimson in with cadmium yellow. See that there? A really good orange colour. And mix it with the white and it'll go slightly peachy. But you see this crimsony colour? I want to bring that into this. I really want to bring it into it. So I'm going to use the crimson. Might get a bit of white. Just a bit of white to that. Check that out. A bit more white maybe. Type of peachy colour. There. Now with this colour, I know I've got some trees that do have a big tree here, and there's some trees that go off behind all of this. So we've got this orange. It's an orange tone to these trees. Just in there. Same way I did the others, just letting it pull to the side. And this is where the sunlight's hitting it, you see, slightly. I'll bring some of these pinky purples into this as well, into these trees. We've got this colour all the way underneath. And then a bit just up in there for another tree. Allowing it to mix with the liquid white. Bring a bit of that colour, that orange, just over into here. Tiny bit, just into these trees. Very soft, very subtle. Same with this, just bring a bit of that orange in. A little bit of that orange is just integrated into that. There. That's cool. Just like a little glow of that colour going on in there. Right, so I'm back to my orange on its own again. And as it comes over, you have more white to it. So it's more peachy than it was before. A bit more crimson maybe with that as well. There. That's good, it's a good colour. Now, all the way along we've got this colour, so I'm just gonna, it's a bit too dark, I'm going to get rid of any excess paint so that I haven't got too much colour on there. That's it. So we'll integrate a bit of this peachy colour, it's a bit peachy, into that, so that I can actually come up over there and just put some little stuff going on at the base of this. Just little indications of something going on where there's bushes and things that are hitting the light's hitting. And then this colour basically comes right through the centre there. Blend it out. And I think just in here it's going to be a tree that's sat right in the sunlight. It's going to be behind all of this, so we're just going to put a few little things there because it's going to be behind this big tree we've got. So if any of that shows through, that's fine, but we'll be covering a lot of that up. And then just in here we've got a bigger one. It's about up to there. I can put some of that colour in just there for a tree. That's it. Get a bit of shape, form and character. Maybe just come up, push up. See that? It's a nice effect. Put a few just on the side of that. A little bush or something. Same over there, another little bush. That's good. Now with this orangey colour, I'm going between the pinky and the orangey, basically. I'm going to have some lovely green grass just below that, but just for now I'm going to actually think about the trees that go in front. I've got a tree just here that goes in front of all this, so I'm going to go back to the brush with the darker blue on it, that one. And I'm just going to simply, where this is, simply come up in here and indicate some stuff going on. Tiny bit of black into that I've put as well. A tiny bit of black into it and a tiny bit of white. The white just to lighten it up so it's not overpowering the dark. See that? The dark black has just acted as a bit of a go-between for us. There. So this tree is quite a biggie. Goes up to about there. So again, it's still in the middle ground, so it don't want to be distinct. Really sharp is what I mean. It don't want to be sharp. Don't want to have sharp edges. It wants to be relatively soft still. Imagine that this building's not really there anymore in your mind, and then just paint the tree how it would be. A bit more detail in this than I put in the background ones, just a little. So, and then that actually comes right down in front of all these orangey ones, all these orangey trees. And we'll use that and block it in underneath slightly. So let's step back and have a look. A bit more just going on in there. That's good. Dark inside. That's something like what was wanted. maybe just at the base I can get it small amount darker, just in at the base. Usually a bit darker just at the base of the tree. I tend to see that a lot. Happy. Might block it in just a tiny bit more. Because you don't get to see no trunks on this one. It's a bit too far away. No branches. Not this distance. That's it. Happy with that. Now, same colour. I want to have something just there as well. Another bush just coming out from there. That's just above it. Something there, like that. And then that pushes all that orange trees further back. I've just decided to go back in again and to just make this a bit bigger. I thought it was a bit smaller than I wanted it really. Just go back and make it slightly bigger. Maybe up to about there. Yeah, that's good. Bit more of something going on tree wise, a bit bigger. Maybe just in there. Now I'll put a little trunk on it, but there ain't actually a trunk on the picture. I'm just going to do it how the actual picture is, so I'm just going to block that in underneath. That's how it is on the picture, so why not? I do like to create stuff myself a lot, but I just thought it looked a bit better like that. A bit bigger. Again though, you can still come back to a brush 1 inch and you can gently tap that just to make it look soft in the background, just in there. Even on the edges you can do it just to soften them edges slightly. Now I want to use my brush with the really light toned lavender, some white to make it really light. And just where we've got this lavender, you know, coming into these, I'm just going to put the smallest amount of light lavender into the shadows of these orange ones. There, see that? And then as it comes over here, it more or less loses it all. No shadows hardly.